Mortal Kombat 9 Remastered is actually happening? If you look closely, that mystery game is number 9 on the list. So could it actually happen? The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection has everyone freaking out right now. So many awesome games in one package, along with online play and rollback netcode, plus more games are getting announced later, which feels appropriate because old Mortal Kombat games were all about mystery. Secret fighters, hidden messages, special codes, and all that awesome stuff. We still don't have a release date either, so that's just one more mystery to pile on top of everything else. In today's video, we're discussing everything about this new collection and also what's coming next. Because while everyone else is wildly speculating online and guessing what they want in this collection, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I even spoke with other Mortal Kombat experts and we're pretty sure which games are coming next. Another day means more Mortal Kombat news. I'm covering it all the time on this channel, so if you want to stay up to date, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. And then after watching, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel out a ton. Also, real quick, I made a comic book. You can grab yourself a copy for just $10. Get yourself some exclusive covers that will never be available again. Or grab the triple pack to get yourself that awesome poster for free. This crowdfund raised $500 in the first 5 days. Let's keep it going. Click that pinned comment link down below and order your amazing comic today. Alright, the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Several games have been confirmed already in this bundle and more games are getting announced later on. But for now, let's talk about what we know. So far, this bundle includes the first Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Advance, which is crazy if you know anything about that game, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance on the Game Boy Advance. Don't freak out, it's sadly not the PlayStation version that we all know and love, it's the Game Boy Advance. Then finally, we have Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, which is also on the Game Boy Advance. And keep in mind, many of the games I already listed have multiple versions you can play in this bundle. For example, if you want to play the original Mortal Kombat, you can do the arcade version, the SNES version, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear version. So in other words, it's not just the game, it's that game on several different platforms, all of which have subtle differences from each other, and it's also amazing to have every version for the sake of preservation, right? That way these games never go away. But also, there's tons of behind-the-scene footage included in this bundle as well, so developer documentaries, behind-the-scene footage, concept art that apparently has never been seen before. Or in other words, the Legacy Collection might be the only way to access this stuff. If you want to be a true Mortal Kombat collector and have literally everything, including all the artwork, you're gonna have to get this collection, because apparently it has stuff that's never been seen before. However, I'm still not done, because next up is possibly my favorite part about this bundle. The secret fights and other mystery elements of classic games is going to be easily accessible. That's right. So for example, if you want to fight Reptile in the original Mortal Kombat, you can just do that without having to jump through all the hoops, get the flawless victories, wait for Santa to appear in the moon in the background. Back in the past, you had to do all that stuff to even fight Reptile, but now you can just fight him easily. They're gonna make these secret fights easier to do, which is honestly fantastic for any Mortal Kombat fan, but especially for content creators. You know everybody's gonna go wild with that stuff. Me versus Noob Saibot for the first time, me fighting Jade for the first time, me fighting Reptile for the first time. There's gonna be so many YouTube videos like that popping up because now finally it's gonna be easier to access these secret boss fights. Beforehand, it was really difficult, not gonna lie. Which of course was the point, because Ed Boon and Midway wanted you to put as many quarters in that arcade cabinet as possible. So they made these secret fights very difficult to achieve, that way you kept putting in quarters in to try and fight Reptile, for example. But that was back then, and this is now. Once we get our hands on the Legacy Collection, we can do all these secret battles and fights without jumping through all those hoops, which I just think is really cool. And also, many of these games are gonna have online now, which means you can fight your buddies or random strangers online with rollback netcode, which is always fantastic. It took a while for everyone to get here, but now finally all these fighting games have rollback netcode, and honestly, there's no better way to do it. So alright, with all that explained, let's talk about what's coming next. At the end of the trailer for the Legacy Collection, we're told that more games are coming, and there's 4 rows of question marks in total, which leads me to to believe there's 4 more games coming that will be announced later on. And I don't see anyone else talking about that. Everyone's saying which games they want or which games they think are likely, but no one's talking about 4. The number of games coming is 4. And of course, many people watching want the same thing, the 3D era games and possibly Mortal Kombat 9 remastered as well, because that game was delisted, don't forget. If you want to buy MK9 on Steam or new anywhere else, it's impossible. You have to buy from someone that already owns it, which is one big reason why everybody wants it in the Legacy Collection along with the 3D era games, because for whatever reason, we still don't have a 3D games bundle. Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. Those 3 games are pure nostalgia. Everybody wants that collection to exist, and yet WB refuses to make it. I've got no clue why, but people are hoping, fingers crossed, that those 3D era games will be included in the Legacy Collection, which definitely would be fantastic, and I'll keep my fingers crossed along with everybody else. But to be completely honest with you all, here's where I rip the band-aid off. We're not getting any of those games in this bundle, most likely. Even though it would be amazing, I just don't see it happening, because why give us Deadly Alliance on the Game Boy Advance if you're gonna give us the PlayStation version? It just doesn't make any sense, because you can only cram so much into a single game bundle, right? And on top of that, you know that if WB is making a 3D era collection, it's gonna be its own separate thing, most likely. And then for Mortal Kombat 9, if you want to know that whole situation, check out this video on screen. It explains why we still haven't gotten a remaster of MK9 or even a re-release yet. This video right here, and also linked up here in the top right, click that thing because it explains the whole situation. But for this video, I'll keep it simple. We're not gonna get MK9 in the Legacy Collection. It's not gonna happen, along with the 3D era games, most likely. Those games are pretty much deconfirmed. So which games do I think are likely to be included in Legacy Collection? First up, we have Mortal Kombat Gold, because come on, this game's gotta be there. You can't include MK4 and not include MK Gold, because that is MK4 but just better, with more characters, better gameplay. It looks prettier too. You can't not include that game because it is Mortal Kombat 4 but just better. So I think that game in particular has a very good chance of being included in the collection, and when I say very likely, I mean 90%. Then next up, we have Mortal Kombat Trilogy, for the same reason as MK Gold. MK3 and UMK3 are both included in this bundle, but not Mortal Kombat Trilogy. There's just no way, because Mortal Kombat Trilogy is the final version of Mortal Kombat 3. You can't include the first 2 versions and not the final definitive version. There's no way that's happening, right? In fact, real quick, if I'm being honest with everybody watching, I'm not even sure why they're including MK3 or MK4, the originals, because the later editions are just better. They play smoother, they have more characters, all that incredible stuff, just more content in general. So I'm wondering why even include the original versions, especially MK3, because that game is borderline hated by most Mortal Kombat fans. But like the Fort Snake pointed out to me on Discord, preservation is a big deal, right? You want to preserve these games in their original form, so Mortal Kombat 3 should be included for authenticity's sake. Alright, game number 3. I think Mythology's Sub-Zero has a good chance of being included in the Legacy Collection, and I'm not alone. Pretty much everybody online and on social media agrees with that idea for a couple of reasons. That game is very old school, number one, so it should be included with these other classic and iconic games, but then on top of that, it's a small game when it comes to data and the space it takes up, which makes it easy to add on to the entire bundle, right? Without taking up too much space or too much storage. MK Mythology Sub-Zero is not a big game when it comes to data, so yeah, just throw it in. Which leads us to the 4th and final game, which I am still not sure about, but I spoke with the Combat Kings along with Babe Ruthless, and all of us agreed that Special Forces has a good chance of being included in this bundle, because once again, not a big game, right? Not too much data, so it doesn't take up a ton of storage in the collection. But then on top of that, there's no other way to sell this game really to the public, is there? Nobody's lining up to buy Special Forces, or at least not many people. There might be some diehard fans out there watching saying, yo, I would kill for Special Forces. But for most MK fans, Special Forces is not a selling point, so it makes sense why they'd keep it a secret until later. Although for me personally, I've never played Special Forces. I've only seen gameplay and even watched video documentaries about the game and its development process, all that stuff, so I know a lot about Special Forces, but I've never actually played it. And as a result, I'd be kinda pumped if it got added to the bundle. But there you have it, everyone. Those are the 4 games I think are most likely being added to Mortal Kombat's Legacy Collection, along with 4 other games that I think have no way of being added to the game, unfortunately. Even though I would love for the 3D era games and Mortal Kombat 9 Remastered or Shaolin Monks to be thrown into this collection, I just don't see it happening. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which games do you think are coming for the Legacy Collection, or which games do you want in general? Let me know any and all of your thoughts down below, because like I say in all my videos, I love reading each and every comment. So grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Another day means more Mortal Kombat news, so thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.